What's up, guys? It's your boy Spiderwolf back for another JJKPhantomparade video. So the posted the news actually a little bit later than usual today, but we're gonna go over what the new news is for the upcoming for this week, and then what we got coming up next week, which we have some pretty cool stuff coming up. Also, before we get started, I would really appreciate it if you guys could drop a like, comment, subscribe. It would really help me out. Trying to get 1,000 subscribers, you know, it only takes 2 clicks at least for liking and subscribing, so we'd really appreciate it. But with that being said, let's on to the video. All right, so what we got cooking up here, guys. So yeah, as I said, like I think it was like 2 weeks ago or whatever, when I made like last news video or whatever GK video, I did mention that most likely we're probably gonna get these two guys. We're gonna get this Megumi here, and then we're probably gonna get the MC, the original character for, you know, the game, right? It looks like we're also getting 3 banners, also getting this other featured one as well, with a whole with, like, you know, a bunch of like characters that have already been out, starting with whole purple Gojo and then probably ending with Sakura, or just being those 2 here. But yeah, so these are the upcoming matters here. So we have April 18th to May 1st, which is pretty interesting, will be the Megumi banner, which is going to be this week. Of course, it's going to be in a couple days here. And then we have after the maintenance on April 25th to May 12th, which is interesting that they mentioned the May 1st and May 12th, right? We will be getting this, I think it's called Kaito, right? So on April 25th, which is interesting they say maintenance, because that means we might be getting some stuff for, you know, global half anniversary, maybe. And then, yeah, this is going to be ending on the 12th of May. So if that's the case, there's a chance that, you know, I mean, realistically, right? Like, since Kaito is here, that means 2 weeks after this Kaito has been released, we should be getting domain expansion Gojo, is pretty much what this should be confirming. So if he's coming out on April 25th, which is next week, we will probably be seeing domain expansion Gojo on the 8th or 9th, probably, specifically more on the 9th of May is when I think we will be getting domain expansion Gojo, which is kind of cool. And then of course the week before that, if you guys are interested in Zone Yuji, the yellow one, he should be coming out on May 2nd or May 1st, is I'm pretty sure what this is basically confirming here. Yeah, because this banner, this last one here ends on May 8th, so I'm assuming right after that we'll be going right straight into the global half ending celebration stuff. And of course as well with banners, we have 2 events here: story event, map event, and another imaginary realm battle, which is still pretty good. With those phantom medals, so you can buy those characters like Nanami. I mean, honestly, all of them are good now. And of course, a new chapter as well, a new player rank. But yeah, let's quickly go look in the timeline as well, real quick. All right, now that we're on the wiki here, I just want to show you guys this so you guys can see, you know, like visually, right? You know, like what we have coming up, and basically, like, you know, kind of confirmed like when we're going to be getting domain expansion Gojo, right? So I think we have to start in October. Yeah. So we do have this event right now. I'll be honest, I haven't done it. I don't actually know how many cubes this gives, but I kind of just didn't really care about it. I don't know if this gives, yeah, it doesn't give any info, but yeah, we have this event going on still right now. If you guys are interested in this, I'm assuming probably gives like a couple cubes, but I don't know how much. Of course, we still have this memory quest. We have this Toji available still to be summoned for. We still have this map event, Nobara. We got all that. Now we're getting all of this. We're getting this event here. We're getting this Megumi here. They didn't mention this side story, but it might be shoved in there somewhere. Maybe they didn't mention it, but basically this is what we got cooking up here. I will be making another video, of course, on how good this Megumi is, but as you guys have seen a couple times on the tier list, when we went over it for different characters, this Megumi is actually like very high up as like a really good green DPS supposedly. So if you guys are maybe considering something for, if you guys kind of need another green DPS, this Megumi might be your option, but we'll cover that in the next video. Though, as like a quick little heads up, probably not a good idea to be summoning for characters right when we're about to hit our actual global anniversary. So, you know, probably best to be saving those cubes up for our half anniversary stuff. And of course, that's what we're getting this week. So we're getting the really good character this week, right? And then next week, we're going to be getting this Hanami rerun formidable battle, or imaginary realm battle, you know, something. And then we're also getting this pickup gacha which has purple holo Gojo and Sakura, as well as the recollection as like a rated banner, which will probably be getting a free 10 roll, most likely from this Hanami event, I'd imagine. This is probably going to give us free 10 roll for this banner, I'd assume. So that's kind of cool. They're both purple holo Gojo is pretty good, and Sakura is kind of whatever. But of course, since we're getting right into global half anniversary content, same thing, probably best not to summon on there. And then we're probably gonna get some cursed object here, 2x. You know, I'd imagine we might receive that. And of course, we are also receiving the final map battle for the Valley Edition. We're also getting that. However, that one's gonna be this week, so we're getting that one early. I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check. That one is this week, right? Oh no, my bad. Okay, yeah, no, that one is next week. Yeah, so this one's next week. Yeah, that would make sense because we're already getting the other one that comes with Megumi. I will say though, real quick though, it is a little bit interesting that for the Megumi stuff here, they're basically giving us all this content that came out in October, like together, right? Like they're not separating, they're not doing just like the banner and then doing like another event from like a couple months ahead or a couple months behind. No, they're literally just like all the stuff that happened in October, we're basically getting together. I don't know about the side story part, but at least for the gacha and then the story event, that's literally coming together, which I think is a little bit interesting that they're doing it that way, but you know, it's fine. And then of course we're getting this map event battle. This one of course, like I said, will be next week. They didn't mention this pickup gacha here. This one with Nanami and Mekamaru. So this one might be like a post Annie thing or post half Annie thing. We could see this coming back as like a post half Annie potentially, or it could be like one of the other ones because remember for JP half Annie, which we got like, you know, a couple months ago, there was a couple banners that we didn't get. At least I'm pretty sure, but they kind of shoved in characters that for banners that we didn't get, whatever. Of course, on top of that, they also kind of like took away like 3 events that would given out like 9k cubes basically, which kind of sucks. So at least in this case, it's just a banner, right? But we are getting the event here. Yeah, I still have no idea when they're going to give us those events back for those cubes. Like, I don't know what they're doing, unless they're holding it for our 1st anniversary for some reason, but I don't know. Or maybe they're just trying to have as like an extra backlog as the last couple things before we merge with JP. And then of course we're also getting a new chapter as well. The new chapter, actually, let's see, when does the new chapter come out for us? Maintenance. So yeah, the new chapter will be next week. So it won't be this week, but it'll be next week, because we'll have a new chapter as well, which of course means we get another character grade, which means everybody will get a little bit stronger. Also, apparently, there's a longin bonus for a free 10 roll from looks like. So it looks like a free 10 roll for Kaito. So yeah, so they're kind of treating this one kind of like they've done the like they did for JP Have Annie, and then also for the JJK Movie Zero collab, where they give a free 10 roll. So they didn't mention this at all in the notice here, but I'd imagine they maybe will mention it later, because we're getting the Kaito banner, right? We're getting this banner for Kaito, so it'd be kind of odd if they don't include it. So I'm assuming they're maybe gonna just make another announcement that, like, because they were a little interestingly enough, this news post was like a couple days late, so there's a good chance that maybe they'll make another post saying that, oh yeah, we're giving everybody a bonus free 10 roll, or technically not bonus, right, but just a free 10 roll for Kaito here. So regardless though, we should be getting a free multi for Kaito. I think Kaito wasn't too bad, but I think he's mainly good for Zone Yuji, but at this point I don't know if he's actually viable, right? But of course we'll make another video and go look more into depth as to what he does and see how good he is or how bad he is. And then we have a main story, 0 AP cost campaign. That's pretty cool. Always love these, whenever it's like a half AP or 0 AP, where it kind of helps you clear the story, like if you're kind of like behind or whatever. There's also a new battle pass, which is interesting, for doing the main story, I guess. And then of course the Kaito banner. And then yeah, so they didn't mention this free 10 roll, they didn't mention this AP, like some other minor things. So some of these other minor things they may include later, like once we get closer to these like actual things coming out. But for the most part, they don't really need to announce this until like next week probably. But yeah, basically that's it, guys. And then once like a week later after Kaito, boom, 1st anniversary. So we get a free multi here, which I'll make a separate video for what this is exactly. Like once we have more information once it comes to global as to what we're getting here. So I'll make a bunch of videos on that. We're getting paid skins. I actually don't know how expensive they are. Low key, I kind of wouldn't mind buying skins. I know Gojo has a pretty cool skin, but we'll see. We'll see. I haven't been getting my cents from YouTube yet for revenue yet. But to be honest, I haven't hit the requirements yet, sadly. But it's fine. We'll keep grinding. But anyways, we have a whole bunch of events here basically. So of course I'll make another video going all over all this once we do hit the actual official announcement of Global Half Anniversary, where we'll get all these announcements. Pretty cool stuff. But basically, of course, all you guys really need to worry about is, of course, yellow Itadori Zone Yuji coming out, or basically like a week after Kaito and then a week after this Itadori, we will be getting domain expansion Gojo, which has been a very long anticipated pickup. So that'll be very fun to go for. Can't wait for that. We'll see how our summons go. I've been pretty lucky in the game so far, so we'll see it. You know, like I said, hopefully you guys also get lucky as well, you know, when he does come out. Also, like, if you guys want to summon for Zonuji, he's really good, so I wouldn't blame if you guys wanted to. I might do some summons myself for him, but I may either... I think we're probably going to get a free 10 roll for this Yuji anyways, but I'll probably be saving my summons for the expansion Gojo once I have him. Depending on how my summon count is looking, I may go back and do some more for Itadori here and see if I can pick him up as well, because he's quite nice. And since, you know, we have the wave our Gojo, I can't really use my yellow Gojo, Teen Gojo anymore, because, you know, I'm using this better Gojo here, so I kind of need another, you know, really good yellow DPS, which is Itadori can fill in that role. And then basically after the main expansion Gojo here, basically a couple weeks later, we have some other random events coming back. Yeah, then a couple weeks later, we will have the JJK Movie Zero collab, which will have Yuta rerunning, and then it will have this dude, Miguel, who isn't really that good. There's a good chance he might be really good later on once he does get buffs. But for the time being, at least in JP, he's currently not great. But if you guys are a fan of Miguel, you know, he'll be coming out like essentially a week or two after domain expansion Gojo, which for special events like these, like for Anni, for JP, like what we got, they kind of kept it to the same like style. Like they kind of weren't like, it was basically like a banner every week, right? So there's a chance they can maybe do that, where it's like, oh, Itadori, domain expansion Gojo, JJK Movie Zero collab, and then, you know, from there go on. But there's a chance they also just might follow the same format, where we will have to wait like 2 weeks and then get the JJK Movie Zero collab. I will probably be rolling on this collab because this Geto is really fucking good with his buffs, and I kind of need a really good blue DPS, so I'm probably going to be rolling for this Geto when he does have his rerun as well, because he does also have a banner himself, which I think, yeah, it's going to be like another week after the Yuta rerun, and then Miguel. And then after Geto, we have some other banners, and then let's see, yeah, and then like about another week or so after Geto rerun, we will be getting we'll be getting Sukuna, which is a really top tier, fantastic DPS character, which I highly recommend all of you guys try to grab as well. So there's some great highlights. For me, the main characters I'm looking for are number one would be the next Gojo, the Sukuna, then Blue Geto, and then Yellow Itadori, and then that's kind of all I really need to worry about, to be honest. And then of course, you know, now what has been happening more recently in JP, we've been getting more characters for the Shibuya incident arc. So we have these characters like Miwa, Iwakumaru out of his like mecha suit and all that. You know, a bunch of great characters, but of course, you know, might be a good idea to skip most of these unless you just want to do like a couple 10 rolls and save up and, you know, transfer them to gacha point tickets. Because most likely, you know, as nice as all some of these characters are on JP and how good they are, right? Of course, I wouldn't blame them because they want to go for Nanami, you know, maybe it's pretty nice. With all these nice banners, right? JP is getting pretty close to hitting their actual half anniversary. Or I guess it would be now 1.5 anniversary, so they're probably going to get like, there's a good chance that maybe it'd be like a new Gojo, or it'll be maybe any other characters, maybe like a new Itadori, right? So who knows, bro. That's it. We have a lot of stuff to look forward to. But yeah, as far as all what you guys need to worry about, you know, just some coming events. And then, yeah, in about 3 weeks, we should be starting our global half anniversary. So, with that being said, though, guys, I hope this helped you out. And, you know, keep those cubes locked in, you know, because there's a lot of great characters coming out very soon. And there's a good chance that, what is it like? 3 or 4 weeks post domain expansion Gojo, Sukuna will be out on the game. There's a good chance that could potentially happen. It's either going to be basically going to be like about between 3 to 4 weeks or like a month, basically, because it was like about a month on JP for when Sukuna came out on JP. It was like about a month basically between domain expansion Gojo and the Sukuna. So we'll see how they play it out for us on global. I kind of hope they just do like every week a new banner, or it's like Itadori, then Domain Expansion Gojo, then the JJK movies are collab part 1, then part 2, and then well, technically part 3, you know, Geto. I think it's a large part 3. And then finally, of course, the final, right? And then that's like the big hitters. And then anything else past that, if you want to summon for anything else, you can. Otherwise, probably just like a good idea just to wait till the actual, which will be our actual, you know, first anniversary, which is going to be JP's 1.5 anniversary. I do think though, with how things are looking and how close we are, I see there's a high probability that once JP hits either their second or 1.5 anniversary, we will be fully caught up. So basically, within probably by next year, we will be fully caught up with JP, and we'll probably be on the same timeline. And then, just as most other gacha games go, just follow the same, you know, the usual consensus of don't summon on anything unless it's like a collab or an anniversary, right? And then other than that, just don't really summon things. But of course, there's, you know, there's paid tickets or whatever. But anyways, going off that yap tangent, I'm gonna be heading out. I will see you guys for the next video where I do talk about this Megami. If I can find him. Should be like one more, right? But yeah, I'll basically make, you know, the next video, guys, we'll see nothing JJK related. We'll probably just be on this Megami talking about if he's worth summoning. But that being said, I'll see all you later. Peace and take care, everybody.